going to make some coasters. So these coasters have a secret. They are also charging coasters. Where are we? So we have that little port there. I have this little tester here, and I will plug it in. And then when you set your phone on it, it lights back up and lets you know that it's working. So we are going to be making these phone chargers and coasters. So to start doing these coasters, you have to get the components. I'll set these up here. They come like this. I have tried two components, Ashata, and I don't know how to pronounce the last one, Taidacent, something like that, T-A-I. These are the second one, and they have a micro USB connector like this. So it's not the type C connector, which is, where did it go? Oh, this one. So see, it's the micro USB, this one, and it is not the C type. It's a micro USB. So the first thing you do when you get them is to test and make sure they work. This is so extremely important. So we will plug it in. I will go over here. I won't show you this part. It's not that big of a deal. I just want to make sure it lights up and it will charge my phone, because you need to make sure not only does it light up, but that it will actually function and charge. Okay, that one looks good. Because there's nothing worse than spending all the money for these. These vary anywhere from $10 to almost $14. So, you know, you have 3 or 4 failures. That's a lot of money to throw away. So always test them before, examine them to make sure the Ashata, they ship them in little thin baggies, and all of this was just shattered every time I got one from them. So I have since gone to this brand. They are a little different. I don't know what that they're. They're basically the same. They still have the lights that light up and show you that they're working. So these little guys right here, those are the lights. Okay, so we cannot just put this in a mold and have it work, because it's going to, the resin will seep in everything. So we have to prepare this to be in resin. This is the top. This is the part that charges your phone. So it has to be, usually I think it's 0.5 to 0.8 or 0.05 to 0.08 distance, which is not very much. So what I've done, these are fairly thin coasters. They're not the thin jumbo coasters. These are from Amazon. And what I've done is cut a hole in my mold. There you go, you can see it. To accommodate I've got wire shrink wrap. And finding out what works well to put these in resin, there's been a lot of trial and error. So I've tried various tapes, glue seeps into every little hole here. So that didn't work. So I came up with wire shrink wrap. So this shrinks, I think it's 2 to 1. This does not have any adhesive in the center of this. I actually tried the ones with adhesive because I thought, oh, that sounds so cool. That would be perfect. And what I found was the glue actually seeped in here and I couldn't get my plug in all the way. So that was an epic fail. And there have been many things I've tried and have since found that they don't work. So I'm here to share my experience with you. So what I want to do is put this back as far as I can. And you see there's shoulders here, so it's not going to get everything covered, but it does really, really well. I leave extra length to pull through my mold so that the resin doesn't leak out of my mold. So I'm going to cut off the length. Just enough to give me extra to play with. You have to hold it in place. It doesn't stay there. So the best way I found to do that is to leave it long enough to where I don't burn my fingers. And it still shrinks around the opening. So I typically like to hold it top and bottom to get it melted around there. So we're going to try this. And I usually like to go at it from the front because that keeps it, if you go this way, it blows it up. So I'm going to go this way. And another thing I found is really good to do while this tube is warm, try and press it down. It actually sticks to itself a little bit. Okay, so now we're just going to cut off that extra because I need it fairly small. There, we'll throw that away. Yes, it's wasteful, I know that, but it saves my burning fingers. So now there's still something else we need to do. Since this has no adhesive in it, even though I've got it back covering everything, it's still open. And so all that resin would just seep right through into this tunnel. So I've come up with glue. So the wood glue dries pretty clear. You don't need a lot of it. It's very strong. It dries hard. And so what we have to do is glue this front and back. It doesn't take a whole bunch. But you do want to make sure you get it all the way. So what I take, every opening that might be around it sealed, because there's nothing more frustrating than not having it sealed and you ruined the whole thing. Okay, so over there. And I might take just a little of this surplus off. I don't want to, you have to be careful too, because you don't want the glue to seep up into everything, because then you have the same problem you did before. Oops. Okay. So we've got that side taken care of. Now I need to do this side. So we will come back to other steps when the glue has dried. Okay, so one thing I want to show you is once you have these glued up, you need to elevate them in the coaster. Otherwise they could be a little too far down. It makes it difficult. I don't like to raise them up. So what we're going to do is put some dots on here. And I've taken the dots and I've just cut them in fourths. So I'm going to do 4 on here. And actually what this does is raise them about half of the way. So that makes it absolutely perfect. And one on the back end. You don't really need, actually I could do one here. And now I need to cut another one. That one didn't crunch, so I didn't hear it. So anyway, we'll put this one right here. Okay, that should get, I wonder if I should move this back here. That makes more sense to me. Elevate the back, because this will be elevated. So then it will stand up. Let's see if I have something flat to show you. Oh, I'll show you on this. So it will just bring it up that much. Can you see? Yeah, you can't see very well. Something. There, you can see it just elevates it a little bit. So that's going to be about half the coaster. So once you have that done, you are set to make your coaster. Now that we have that done, we can mix up resin and we are good to go. I would recommend pouring it in the bottom. There's something right there. Raise this up a little bit. Pour your resin in there, gently set this back down, and it should be perfect. Okay? So that's it. Join me for the demold and we'll learn how to cut this off. We will take this, loosen this mold. Okay, so now we have it out of the mold and we need to cut this off, and we see we have a little resin here. That's fine. It didn't drip inside, so that's what we're happy about. So what I do is I take a knife and I lay it flat. And I start just cutting flatly around that. You'll feel the metal when you get to it. I just went over it. And cut this side. Let's see what we've got. And there you have your, where am I going? There we go. We have it cut off. It's not, make sure you get all the stuff out of there. So what we do, I'm going to plug this in. I got some trimming to do. Okay, then I will plug it in over here, and let's pray it lights up. Since I get my plug the right way. It lights up, and if I could put my phone down here on it to see that it charges, I would. So what you do need to do is, we saw that it lights up, but what we don't know, okay, so watch it light up again. Okay, so we know that it's getting the electricity, but what we don't know is if my phone will charge. So you also want to put your phone on here, make sure it charges, the lights come on that say it's charging. So that's basically all you have to do. Just make sure you get this cleaned up nicely. And, you know, it's not going to look, you're messing with your mold, so it's not going to not be a little deformed here. So I don't think that people are really that worried about it. So there it is, all the steps. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, drop me a line and I can try and help you out.